Common PUBG player here. If you're new to the game, or you want to learn how to beat people who are better than you are, you probably need some urban warfare tactics. Now, urban warfare is usually when a country has been invaded by a foreign army that's superior in all ways, and you're defending your little town. And this particular little town is one that I know well. So this is my home territory. I've got quite a few people here. This is a replay of a game, as you can see. And I chose it because I'm going to be able to show you one of the skill sets that you need to develop your urban warfare tactics. And we've covered several, but this one is deception, decoy, etc. You have to understand that I don't know where any of those players are. This is a replay of the game so that you can kind of see who is in the game with you. That's why you see all of their numbers there. So all of your other skill sets that you've learned so far, you want to practice all of those and add on to it deceptive, distracting, decoying type maneuvers or actions. There's going to be a few in here. Distractions. You could use your weapon to distract and then reposition yourself. Firing off shots to draw people into you, especially those who are trying to rush and get the kill games. I kind of don't understand the kill count because this is Battle Royale. And there's a lot of other games you could play if you just wanted to play for kills and you're going to respawn and get back into the game. This is pretty punishing for those who would engage the enemy, get killed over it, and then have to come all the way back into the lobby and start all the way over and battle your way through 100 people again to try to get a win. But that's me. So I'm going to break this glass and then I'm going to reposition myself. If there's anybody in here, he may be coming out the back end here. It's kind of a decoy. If he thinks that I'm down on the ground floor, or if he's in this room, and there's a lot of players that dropped in this little town. So I want to be pretty careful here. Every time you engage the enemy, you run the risk of dying. So if you're playing for wins, you only want to engage the enemy when you have the tactical advantage, especially if he is going to outgun you. And there are a lot of players who are better than I am with guns. So I'm going to still move with stealth. I'm still going to stay under cover. And I'm probably going to do a little bit of a risk here to see if I can distract some of these guys out into the open. I would normally only use deception tactics when I have the tactical advantage or I'm really being pushed into a position where I'm going to have to fight. So I'm going to try to see if I can draw out some of these guys here. I don't have a very good scope. I think I'm hearing someone. Now I'm hearing someone else. I really don't have the tactical advantage to shoot this guy who's coming up on the house. But I'm going to go ahead and try to shoot him. And I got that kill. This, I'm not quite for sure. It looks like a bot. Now the enemy is alerted of my position. So I'm going to have to move. I'm going to have to reposition to another place. It's kind of interesting to see the replay actually, to see where all the players are. So I'm going to see if I can do something to decoy this enemy here. Just going to throw this grenade over this little house. See if I can see where he is. So he is going to come up the stairs. Luckily, he's not a good shot. And unfortunately, the AUG without the muzzle brake is a hard weapon for me. It's a new weapon I'm trying to learn. We'll get to weapons one day, but if you're a new player, pick a few that you can shoot well and stay with those for a while before you go to pick another one up. He's throwing a grenade at me. Now he's throwing a smoke to try to decoy me. Is that him? That's him. Not for sure if he saw where that was coming from. There's my vehicle. You can't see my inventory, but I've got a red dot and a holographic, I think. And I think I pick up a scope in that box. Can't remember. I just played this game, so I know it a little bit. Now, I did not know that that was the player that was on the roof, so I think that someone's in the house. And what I'm going to do to try to distract the person in the house is open the door and run around, being careful that I'm not going to get shot at through the windows. Now this door is open, and I think he might still be here. I think he might be in that room. And there's a sniper over here. I normally wouldn't engage him because I'm in this game for the win. But I'm going to go ahead and do it so I can see if I can show you some more deception tactics. He's probably going to hear me now. I see his head to the left. Someone else is shooting at him. And he's going to throw a grenade. And he got grenaded by another player. So I'm going to use this wall. See when the other player's going to come in here. Now, I could throw this flashbang, but he ran away. I thought he was going to go check that box. See, I didn't know which way he was going to come from. I'm using that little metal plate against the wall to cover the line of sight of my head. And I'm going to go ahead and wait for the circle to push him out. Now that flashbang ricocheted off the wall and it went off behind him. And even though a flashbang goes off behind you, you still get blinded, and he was blinded. He was doing his best to stay out of my fire, but and now because of the circle, I'm gonna have to take a vehicle. There's even deception tactics you can use with vehicles. You can actually get out of a vehicle that's going about 40 kilometers an hour, even though it's you better be at full health, and you'll survive it. So your vehicle rolls into the compound and they think you're in it. So there's a little bit of a fine line between deception tactics and decoy tactics. There's a decoy grenade, which most people can kind of know that that's a decoy grenade, but there's a lot of new players in PUBG, so I pick them up. And that's one of my favorite things to use because now I'm baiting in the rushers to engage with the decoy grenade, and I have the tactical position. I didn't see either one of those enemies. I didn't see the two that are in front of me until now. And so I back up and try to get healed. I was gonna heal up, but I decided to go ahead and go for the circle. And I just risked it because if there was someone by that car, I was just gonna get killed. Really lucked out not to flip my vehicle there. And my health is about down to half here. So I'm really gonna have to stay to this circle. And I waited just for a second to see if I heard anybody rush in my vehicle. And instead of healing up immediately, I waited to see if he was going to pop out of that area there. And I did pick up the muzzle brake in one of those boxes, so that I should be better with my hog. And here is where I realize I'm not going to run over that open area without my vehicle. And I know this corner of the map fairly well, and there's a lot of places that you can really get to outposition your opponents. So there's 10 alive, 2 are shooting at each other. There's really no one behind me, but I'm really leery that there's someone behind me. And now I'm in the top 10. So you can hop in and hop out, and someone may think you have jumped in. If someone heard my vehicle, if there was anybody in the house, they might have thought that I was now in the house. And I would wait for them to make footsteps and come rushing at me. A lot of people will play stealthily until they get into a position where they are threatened, and then they start to run around and make noise. And that's where your calm factor, your mental strength has to kick in, and you just have to be calm. Surprise is a tactic that all armies use. All of them. And streamers call it camping or ratting because they like to rush around and play PUBG, rushing and killing and get their kill count high and get the win. They want both. And of course, we're not as good as they are. They have a better computer, have been playing much longer, and they probably have a better IQ than we do. So we're not going to outgun them. But when they do get camped, they're pretty frustrated. And why? Well, they are out of the win. This is the Battle Royale game. And so they don't get the win. They might get a kill count. But they like to demean and embarrass and bully players that do any kind of stealth or tactical warfare or staying covered or staying silent because it's bad business for them. It may be 20 minutes of their day that they don't get to publish because they didn't get the win. And so most people play like streamers. Most new players play like streamers. And even some old-time players play like streamers. Your kill-death ratio, you know, there's some medals that you can get for kills. So I'm going to move around over here and see if I can get a better position. And so that I can get closer to the circle. I'd really rather be on this wall, but I barely caught out of my corner of my eye player 82 running in and getting down behind that tree in the shadows. And I didn't know where these other two players were. I could never see them. Well, I ended up seeing, I think it's player 8 I ended up seeing, and I ended up battling him. Comes down to two of us. And I saw his flash fire, and I used the opportunity to move forward to this tree. And then because the other one's shooting and engaging him, I moved the opportunity to move up to here. I wanted to make sure this house was clear because I didn't know where the other players were. The other player was. Well, I should have, but I thought I better make sure the house is clear. So now it's down to two of us. And I'm in the circle, but I'm quickly going to be pushed out of this house. And so instead of breaking glass, I wanted to get on this side of the wall, and I was taking a chance that he wasn't already over here. And he was a lot closer than I thought he was. That's where I put my Molotov cocktail in its slot. And now I think I ran for the rock. No, I didn't run for the rock. Sometimes using the plane's noise, I would have run for that rock because he can't hear my feet. And I think I finally see him. In the next few seconds. There, I finally saw him and he saw me and he took a shot at me. It kind of threw me off. Why would he shoot one shot at me? So here's where I throw the Molotov. And I didn't quite get that. And so I think he's going to run out on the other side, but he broke out because he's having to run because of this. So I'm just scrambling. And I see him running up the hill, and now I have to scramble to this next tree. And here's where I could believe he went ahead and took the crate, but I guess that was a good move by him. So I'm going to try to get him with the grenade. And I underthrew it. And he shot me with sniper. So those are some deception, decoy type tactics that you need in your skill set. If you're on the second floor, You hear people below you, you can smash glass with a crowbar or a pan. They might think you've jumped out. If you're on the first floor, they're above you, you might smash glass and jump back in and not move, and maybe they thought you jumped out, and so they're jumping out, and you have a tactical position of being behind the cover of the house. Out duping your enemy, doing what your enemy's not going to expect. He's going to expect you to go around the right side of the house, you go around the left. So you have to kind of think about it, and throughout the next videos, I'll be telling you if I come across one of those tactics. So thanks for watching. Common PUBG player. Take care now.